for the past couple days, I've seen people want Kairi back, but my question is, even though that she was in the middle of a storyline, why would they want her back in WWE? Were they not seeing how she was being treated? On a weekly basis, she was being booked to be a dog. Asuka's dog. Kairi! And then she did the overacting thing and jumped around and, in fear or whatever. But this "we want Kairi" thing, I don't understand. Like, are people thinking long term? Triple H is booking these week-to-week shows, as we keep hearing. He didn't, clearly he wanted her gone because he's the one that, gave her the release. Dave Meltzer over here saying that WWE released Kairi Sane because she indicated she wanted to go back to Japan. And then Kairi Sane had to come out because Dave Meltzer's always lying and said, pretty much saying that, yeah, I'm in the middle of a storyline here. I wouldn't have, just walked away. And then on top of that, her and Asuka had WrestleMania gear made, but Triple H, he didn't put them on the show because he had to put Danhausen on the show and a bunch of dwarves on the show and attacking Miz because that was more important, I guess. Instead of just putting Asuka versus Io or Io versus Asuka and then have Kairi Sane turn on her at WrestleMania, that would have been a cool moment, but no. Yeah, so Kairi Sane just came out and said, yeah, don't believe what they were saying. I was fired. I wasn't going to quit. I did not quit. I didn't ask for my release. This thing about truth, something similar happening to him when it was a bunch of word salad, pretty much them saying, well, yeah, we didn't fire our truth. And then our truth going on the Breakfast Club and saying that, well, they told me I was done. They told me not to come to work. They told me not to show up. And then they said I don't have any more flights or tour or dates. And he said, that sounds like a firing to me. And then he was brought back, attacked John Cena, had this whole character change and everything. We thought it was going somewhere, but Triple H Triple H booking him into a hole out of spite because he didn't want him back in the first place. Don't y'all think that will be the same for Kairi if she returns? She's going to get ruined even more. Look what's happening to Matt Cardona. I don't understand. Look what Triple H did to Karrion Kross. Oh, wait, never mind. Y'all want Brock? I don't understand. I mean, people don't think long term. Of course, we love Kairi Sane. She's great. She's talented. But she's the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. And she was booked like literally a dog or someone with Stockholm Syndrome. Attacking people while crying and then, getting her name called and she does a little animated fall to the ground and the fake cry and then she goes about her business. Same thing, literally the same thing every single week. And then she loses a match and then Asuka beats her for it and then blames her for it. Like, clearly the payoff wasn't going to happen. I don't even think Triple H even had a payoff in mind because the best way to pay it off was at WrestleMania, and he never even thought of putting them on WrestleMania. Asuka and Kairi said that they had gear made before WrestleMania, so hopefully hoping and praying that they could be on the show because Nikki Bella was injured. So I'm not trying to hear all this "we want Kairi" garbage. I mean, of course, you can cheer and you can want someone back, but you got to think about how badly they're going to be treated once they get back. I think about this stuff and I get called negative because I'm not walking around with being blinded by emotion. I get called negative because I don't want Kairi Sane to come back to WWE. I really don't. Because then what? People don't think about the then what. They think about what would be nice, how their feelings would be happy right now. Kairi Sane should come back to WWE, but she's just going to get ruined even more. I'm not understanding why people don't think ahead. They say you're negative because you don't want somebody. I never want Kairi Sane to come back to WWE. Look what they're doing to Asuka, bro. Look what they're doing to Io. They had Io for months be a lackey sidekick character to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley can't tell good stories and she can't cut promos. But yet she gets pushed up to the top. Io Shirai has been doing nothing but losing back to back to back to back. Losing matches, and then she was put into a Jade versus Rhea storyline as a plot device, where we saw her get her ass beat, which she's the most talented woman on the roster. And then on top of that, we have people who cope and say, well, to be fair, she was women's champion. She was women's champion. And then she got put into catering for 2 months while holding the gold, then came back to TV at Evolution, had a match against Rhea Ripley, then lost that title and never wanted to chase it for some reason ever again. People don't think ahead. They don't think critically. And then they throw in the to be fairs, which, as soon as you hear a to be fair, it's going to be followed up by some nonsense and some excuses that mean nothing. There's no reason why Asuka should be booked the way she is. There's no reason why Io Shirai should be booked the way she is. And there's no reason why Kairi Sane should have been booked the way she was. I don't want Kairi Sane to come back to WWE because she's going to get ruined. She's going to. And then, people making the false reports of, Kairi wanted to go back to Japan. She tweeted herself she never would have left. Especially in the middle of a storyline. Kairi Sane is now like Cody Rhodes. She must finish her story. But after she finishes her story, then what? Abyss was originally supposed to be in WWE, I think in like 2009, 2006. And then he thought, of course, going against Undertaker would be cool. But how are they going to book me afterwards? That's what's most important. And then they had Jackie Redmond take down her tweet about we want Kairi. They made her take it down. And then on top of that, when I was watching Raw from Laredo, Texas, I heard Kairi Sane chants. And then I thought that they were pretty faint. I thought that they were, turned down a little bit. And it's true. They were in the production truck. They muted the audience damn near. But then I saw a post on Instagram of this. Them blowing the roof off the place for Kairi, So apparently, that wasn't real on TV. They were louder than that in person than they were on TV because they wanted to silence the audience. But yeah, that's it, man. I don't want Kairi back in WWE because they're going to ruin her on purpose. It's sabotage. Because, it's like, I had you gone for a reason, so now I'm going to make you gone. So every time they bring somebody back, they ruin them, It's crazy. But this Kairi thing, yeah, for sure. Especially because Triple H loves to be the one in control, so. You want Cross, huh? Well, okay, cool. We'll give you Brock. For example, you want R-Truth? Okay, cool. We'll get him talking about balls all the rest of the year. He was talking about Nick Aldis and giving Nick Aldis the balls, shining up Nick Aldis's balls, handing him the ball, all that stuff. And now he's in a mixed match, weird Judgment Day thing going on with Damian for no reason, really, because they had nothing for either of the guys. It's unfortunate. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I had to say. This Kairi stuff, I understand, but then what? People don't think about that. When she gets back to the company, a lot of people were interested in Zack Ryder coming back to WWE. Look how they're using Matt Cardona now. Y'all got it, man. Y'all got to think ahead, bro. She should go back to Japan and do great things. Do great things that she was before she got back to WWE. Back before her return. She was the first ever IWGP Women's Champion, had putting on amazing matches. Julia should go too because they absolutely ruined Julia and her legacy. It's over. You got these WWE bubble fans who only watch WWE who thinks that she sucks when she doesn't. So that's all I had to say about that.